What's up, guys? Welcome back to Flipping the Script Fishing. Every time I go out, I like to try something new, or at least experiment with some new things. Carolina cranking is a technique that I started trying out on Dale Hollow. Now this is actually the very first fish I've ever caught using this technique. I still have a lot of honing in and fine-tuning to do, but I see some definite promise in this technique, especially when the ledge bite starts to heat up. Here's a crappie for you. You want it? Yeah. Check out that crappie on that crankbait. Got a little rig here I've been practicing trying out. That's a nice crappie right there. Yeah, I've been playing around with this little rig to try to get littler crankbait down deep.
Right.
And just putting a swivel on and tying a weight to one side of the swivel, and then long leader and a small crankbait.
Right.
It works.
That's about a 12 inches. Yeah. Appreciate it. What's your name?
Jared?
Jerry, I'm Jeff, man.
Nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I got actually I have a YouTube that I do videos for.
Oh, really?
Called,
What's the name of it?
Flipping the Script Fishing.
Oh, okay. I'll
So,
check it out.
I do mostly bass fishing, but I do some crappie, some panfish, and some catfish here and there.
Good. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, bud. Okay, so what I got tied on, you'll see you got a swivel. Then on the tag end there, I tie on a weight. It's a little 1/2 ounce sinker. And then I put a long leader and a crankbait. And this is just one of those Rapala. They don't dive really, they just stay a certain depth. So I can throw this and keep it real deep and just slowly crank it. And as you can see there, it works. So hopefully it'll get me some bass, but we'll see. Experimenting on ways to catch bass and other fish is one of my favorite things about fishing. However, in this video I want to show you 3 techniques and patterns that work this time of year when these fish are starting to spawn or getting ready to spawn. You can really have success throwing any type of plastic. I like a shaky head one. First fish for bass. Not even a keeper, but I'll take it. Put it on a bigger shaky head because I had one huge one throw it yesterday. I put it on a bigger shaky head, hoping to get a bigger bite and have a bigger hook to get in that fish, but I haven't found that bite yet. Hopefully it will. There's a Zoom green pumpkin blue. I put a little chartreuse on the tail since it's cloudy out. Oh. Done? Are you done? Right. There we go. Oh, little guy. Where the big one's at? I started my search in the back of these coves around stumps looking for some spawning bass. And I did find some, but the size was certainly lacking. Keeper. Skinny keeper. Keeper. Barely, but he's a keeper. Take him. On that same shaky head. This time of year is a great time to be dragging around a soft plastic. Shaky head, baby brush hog. Any type of plastic is good to get those bites from the spawning bass or those that are preparing to spawn. There's a better keeper. There's a better keeper. Chunky one. Nice chunky one. I like that nice stripe. Same shaky head. Right off the end of that tree. Decent fish too. Yeah. These fish in this cove are definitely relating to wood, stumps, laydowns of that sort. But for some reason I was having a hard time getting this bigger hook in the fish. The magnum worm was getting bites, but for some reason I wasn't sticking the fish real well. What the heck is going on? Why can't I get a hook on these fish? What the crap? At this point, I decided to put on the smaller trick worm and also paired it up with a straight shank hook. That way I could get a better hookup and not lose so many fish. First one, it's a keeper. Pretty fish. Came up on these. They're not in the coves yet, at least not this one. So I figured they'd be on a deeper dock framing the cove. So I'd be surprised if that's the only one on this dock. So we'll see. Fish. Much better. Go. That's a good one. It's a solid 3 pounds, 2.5, 3 pounds. Take it. $17 inches. Heavy. Alright, good deal. Told you there would be another one on that dock. I bet there's more. Since I was getting good bites and decent hookups on this new setup, I decided to throw this shaky head the rest of the day. So from now on, every fish you see me catch, it'll be on that shaky head. What'd I tell you? That's a keeper too. I fished her on those docks, didn't get a bite. Bookend dock, caught a fish. They'll sit on those first before they go into spawn. So here for the next month or so. You can pull up on this dock or that dock and catch a fish. I can almost guarantee it. Go. I don't know if he's a keeper. We'll be close. Little tiny spotted bass. Oh, that's funny. You hit it. I went to set the hook. You got me hung on the piling, the dock piling. Then he pulled me off the dock piling. So when I came off, then he ate it. I'm confident I could have reproduced that bite on the docks, the bookend docks all around the lake. But I decided to try something else because I wanted to see if the fish were spawning also on the main lake rocks. And I found a pretty good little pattern here as well. Instead of catching largemouth, I was catching spotted bass and some pretty decent smallmouth. But these guys are notorious for just grabbing the tail of your worm. Even though I stuck with the shaky head, it's often recommended to throw a Ned rig in this situation. Smallmouth. That's all three. Whole grand slam. Not a keeper, but I'll take it. Keeper. Solid keeper. Now you'll notice that I have a little chartreuse on the tail of my worm. Now I added that because a lot of times when there's cloud cover, that little bit of chartreuse helps to get a little bit of attention. When it's sunny out, I usually let the worm be natural green pumpkin. There we go, that's a nice smallmouth. Ate that one. Good news, biting the tail off on that. Come on, man. There we go. Alright. Probably not a keeper, he's probably close though.
Okay.
17 1/4. Not quite. I'll take it. Alright. Probably up here spawning. Spawning spotted bass, and especially smallmouth, are notorious for just grabbing the tail of your lure and running off with it. So oftentimes you'll get a bite, you'll swing and you'll miss, or come back with just part of a worm. But don't make the mistake of thinking those are just small fish, because oftentimes they're quality fish doing that very thing. Another smallie. Man, they take them and they just run. I mean, it's hard to catch up with them. Here's a good case in point. I threw to this exact same spot on multiple occasions, and this fish was just playing with me for a little while. But eventually, he couldn't take it any longer and he messed up. And it turned out to be the best fish of the day. Look at that, golly. That's a good one. That's incredible. Check that out. Now, I threw up there 3 times and he finally just had enough and couldn't take it and just took off with it. That's what I'm talking about. Check that out. Almost 20 inches. I'm gonna put him back in because I want to make sure he lives. Had it hooked deep. I think I got it out with minimal damage. Nice one. Really. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, my day was cut short because there were some severe thunderstorms moving in, and I didn't want to take the chance of wind damage or even lightning strike. However, I'm confident I could have decided to follow either one of these 3 patterns I found today. And that's largemouth in the back of coves on stumps and laydowns, spotted bass and largemouth on docks in the main lake and bookend docks, framing coves, and also smallmouth and spotted bass on boulders and chunk rock on the main lake. These 3 patterns are good all over Tennessee, and sometimes you can catch some really quality fish, including trophy bass. Try them out on your lake, and I'm sure you'll have some success. And until next time, tight lines.